This is the GWM Cannon Alpha Ultra, and it's one of the most recent plug-in hybrid utes to land in Australia. On paper, this Chinese-made ute has plenty of appeal. It's well priced, cheap to run, and it's stacked with features. But it now faces serious competition from plug-in hybrid rivals such as the BYD Shark 6 and the Ford Ranger. So how does this Cannon ute go off-road? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so stick around. The Cannon Alpha plug-in hybrid is available in a Lux or Ultra spec. Our test vehicle is the Ultra and it has a drive-away price tag of $64,490. Standard features on board the Ultra include this 14.6-inch multimedia touchscreen, and that has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There are also two wireless charging pads in this vehicle, one up the front and one for the backseat passengers. There's a 12.3-inch driver display, a 360-degree camera, and a whole lot more. Exterior paint choices include white, which is standard and on our test vehicle. Metallic paint includes black, silver or grey, but each of those will cost you $595. For even more details, make sure you read my full written review at carsguide.com.au. Everything about it is big, from that massive front grille all the way back. It's long, wide and tall. There are a few quirky design elements that creep into the function zone, like the spare tyre in the tray, which I'll talk more about later. But overall, it's a decent looking ute, and it's pretty close for a Chinese made ute in terms of dimensions to a US style pickup. The Ultra's cabin is very comfortable, but it also feels kind of plush because there are soft touch surfaces everywhere. I could do without this wood grain look here, but otherwise it's very comfortable. There's plenty of storage, plenty of charging. You are pretty well catered for if you're in the front and also if you're in the back. One of the more interesting aspects of the Alpha Ultra's tub is the fact that it has a 60/40 split tailgate, and that opens up barn door style, giving you a little bit more access to the actual tub. I'm not convinced that it's little more than a novelty, but you may think differently to me. As for the tub itself, it is pretty standard. Nice covering, a few tie-down points, but there are a few negative factors involved. You've got a raised floor because the battery's there, obviously, so that impedes your storage capacity in the tub. And you've also got this full-size spare, which is a bit of an eyesore, but it also eats into all that space. Otherwise, it's not a bad tub. This ute has a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, an electric motor and a 37.1 kilowatt hour battery. Combined outputs for the engine and the electric motor are 300 kilowatts and 750 newton meters. This ute also has a 9-speed automatic transmission, on-demand 4-wheel drive and front and rear diff locks. I'll get into how that engine and electric motor perform as a combination as I drive later on. Suffice to say, this is a ute, so it's not dynamic, it's quite sluggish in its power to the ground, but overall it's pretty impressive. Official fuel consumption for this ute is listed as 1.7 litres per 100 kilometres, and that's on a combined cycle. An EV-only driving range is listed as 115 kilometres. On this test, I achieved fuel consumption of 10.2 litres per 100 kilometres and an EV-only driving range of 100 kilometres. This Cannon ute has a 75-litre fuel tank, so going by my on-test fuel consumption figures, you could reasonably expect a driving range combined electric and fuel of about 835 kilometres. So first things first, on road, this long, wide, tall, heavy ute is pretty damn good. It's composed, it's settled, and that's no big surprise because being such a hefty vehicle, it has plenty of weight and it sits nice and comfortable on the road. Off-road, those dimensions and that weight hamper its all-round abilities more than just a little bit. For one, it's quite a low vehicle with 210 mil of ground clearance. It's got a wading depth listed of 800 mil. Its off-road angles are pretty shallow, and that's approach, departure and ramp over angles, and so it requires a lot of consideration when driving because it is a big low vehicle. But having said that, it's got proper four-wheel drive in this vehicle. It doesn't rely on electronics like the BYD Shark 6 does. It's got high and low range gearing, so it's got a transfer case, and it also has front and rear diff locks. So all of those things considered, you've got a pretty comprehensive off-road armoury. And it is very capable off-road. There's a nice delivery of torque across a broad rev range. The only thing that really stops this Ultra Ute from being very impressive, very capable off-road is the fact that as standard it has all-season tyres. They're not even really all-terrains, they're made for light-duty off-roading. Otherwise this Ute is pretty impressive for light to medium duty off-roading, especially with these tyres. If you put a set of decent all-terrains on it, I'm sure it would be even better. As for any other niggles about this Ute's performance off-road, well, there aren't too many. What I would say is I would reposition that full-size spare tyre. It's odd in that position in the tub. If you have a luggage platform on the roof of this Ute or something like that, you could consider putting the tyre up there if you are going to use it as a touring vehicle. Steering is quite well weighted, especially for something so big. You do feel its size when it comes time to turn it because its turning circle is about 13 metres, which is not insubstantial. But it is nice to drive off-road as long as you drive it in a controlled and considered manner, because that's a matter of necessity in something that is this low, and those side steps may be a little bit prone to damage. But none of those factors could be considered deal breakers. If you are thinking of using your Ultra plug-in hybrid as a touring vehicle, it's handy to know that payload is 685 kilograms, unbrake towing capacity is 750 kilograms, and brake towing capacity is 3,500 kilograms. The Cannon Alpha Ultra has the maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating from testing in 2024. Safety equipment includes 7 airbags and a comprehensive suite of driver assist technology, including AEB, adaptive cruise control, a 360-degree camera, and more. But as always, for even more details, make sure you read my full written review at carsguide.com.au. This Cannon Ute is covered by a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, as well as 7 years roadside assistance and 7 years cap price servicing. That servicing schedule starts at 12 months or 10,000 kilometres, whichever occurs soonest, but after that you'll be looking at servicing appointments every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres. Those service appointments will cost you between $350 and $995, depending on where you are in the vehicle lifespan. For even more details and up-to-date pricing, make sure you read carsguide.com.au and check with your local dealership. The GWM Cannon Alpha Ultra is an impressive entry into the world of plug-in hybrid utes. It's refined on-road and it's very capable off-road. It also offers plenty of equipment, comfort and capability to appeal to those who might prefer a traditional ute but who want to save on fuel bills without being forced into making huge compromises. Sure, this ute is not as good on fuel as you'd hoped, but it is better off-road than the BYD Shark 6, and it is considerably cheaper than the plug-in hybrid version of the Ford Ranger. But what do you reckon? Have your say in the comments section below, and as always, make sure you read my full written review at carsguide.com.au.